will you feel some impact or some change. So push yourself and be challenged a little bit, sitting in your comfort zone and always being, just cool by yourself, not wanting to do a bit more, not wanting to go the extra mile, usually doesn't bring about change. So make sure that you challenge yourself a little bit so you can see a little bit of change at a time. One more time, you are welcome wherever you may be tuned in from, wherever you may be watching us from. Thank you very much for joining us. And we're also live on our social media handles at Joy997 and at Joy Prime Official. So you can watch us. You can interact with us on the same handles on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to send me an inbox, then it is Edem Night Tea. Great. For the past 3 weeks, we have been looking at your marriage and the law. And our guest has been lawyer Kweku Pencil. He is a lecturer. He's practicing law. He is a reverend minister. He is a marriage counselor. He wears so many hats. So it makes the conversation really very rounded, because then he is not just focused on the law, but while he's telling you what the law says, we are also able to have conversations around how reasonable and how godly you can be when you're handling your marriage. So, Lawyer Kweku Pencil, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
And one more time, good to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for dedicating your Saturday mornings 3 weeks back to back for God and country.
Thank you.
We appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have looked at a lot of issues. We've talked about property issues. We've talked about consummating your marriage. We've looked at false pretense. And last week we looked a lot at unreasonable behavior, especially so related to sexual issues. And I did say that today, of course, when eventually you decide that you're parting ways, and it does happen that you are in court, and maybe the divorce will be granted, because like we said, it may be yours for the asking, but it may not be yours for the taking. You can go ask for a divorce, but the judge will have to look at a lot of issues before they decide that, okay, you guys can actually break off from the marriage. So it's not just because you have considered it or you have thought about it, then you have it. But when we get to that level where it is agreed that, okay, this divorce must take place and there are children, then there are issues of custody. And then I was just discussing with lawyer about the issues of alimony. And so those are the things we are going to talk about this morning. And of course, your phone calls, your messages will come through as well. Then we are able to wrap up on this conversation and move on to something else next week. So thank you, and you're welcome to join us. The dial is Joy 99.7 FM. We are on social media. We are also live on Joy Prime Television. And Home Affairs is proudly brought to us by Korba Payments app, Korba Our Lives Simplified, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, Kel Kids Toothpaste for children between 2 and 6 years, a product of Samara Company Limited, Kel Kids, Happy Smile, and Amasha Partners Limited, your one-stop optical solution provider, and Fortune Rise, always on point, just like Mom, CL Immigration, your Canadian immigration partner in Ghana, and Better Mold, because like Mommy, like me. And today we have another promotion coming up. In just a little bit, I will tell you what you have to do. You have to call into the show and either sing for us or do something for us. I will tell you in just a little bit, so stay tuned. And last week we got some 2 winners. They've gone for their packages. We're doing this week and hopefully next week as well. And so stay tuned. I want you to be here. So I'm not telling you just yet. Just stay here. You will get to know. Now, Pencil.
Hi.
Alimony. I remember when I was in school, we used to call a friend of ours Alimony for whatever reason. I don't even know. I don't even know. Now I'm thinking about it and wondering why we were calling him, Alimony, and he didn't really seem to bother at all. But yeah, what is this whole issue about alimony? You want to break away from, a relationship and marriage, and we're looking at all the factors we talked about. So say that all these factors have been established,
Yes.
and eventually the divorce will be granted because the judge has agreed to grant the divorce.
Yeah.
Then about that time, sometimes you start hearing the issues about alimony or, maintenance. And a lot of people have thought that it is unfair, So we want to understand what is that, and who will have to be paying alimony to who and for how long, and is there really a cap to it? We want to know and understand those issues.
Good. Thank you. I think whenever a party goes to court, there are two main reliefs that a party may be asking the court to give.
Okay.
Either a dissolution of the marriage or a decree of nullity. Either way, the marriage comes to an end.
Okay.
But there are related issues. We normally call it ancillary reliefs. That is to say, the main relief, either dissolution of the marriage or, like I said, decree of nullity. After that, there are things that a party is asking the court to do. Of course, the first of which is not in a particular order, but typically, alimony is what I may call is court-ordered payment. It's an order that the court will make to either of the parties to pay money to the other party.
So a woman too can be paying money.
Both, either. Our law is very clear on that.
Eh.
At customary law, it was always the man. But under Matrimonial Causes Act, either party may be ordered by the court to pay money to the other party. What normally happens, we've got what we call temporary alimony, then permanent alimony. Typically, we say alimony pendent lite. It's a Latin expression. That is to say, court-ordered money payment that must be made to them during the course of the divorce proceedings, because it's founded on the principle that anytime that the parties go through the procedure or the proceedings to dissolve the marriage, they essentially have two households, and typically one household will suffer, because what would then happen is that the standard of living of the other party, because up to the time that they've gone to court, possibly the way of mixing money, the way of certain ways of living in the house is going to change. And what it means is that the other party who will be shortchanged will require that the court makes an order for him or her to live up to that standard before the marriage during the course of the divorce proceedings. Even though typically it's the men who are ordered to make payment, there are also cases, don't forget that women have come of age. I mean, to say, since Beijing, women are now, when we started all this conversation, because a 45-year-old friend of yours who is not married has so much and so forth. And what it meant is that if she had married, for instance, and her husband was of a lower income and stuff, and they have to go through a divorce proceedings, chances are that the man may require support during that period. So that is how alimony comes about. But obviously, we're not only talking about alimony. There are issues of property settlement. There are issues of custody. All of these things are what we term broadly ancillary reliefs that a court may consider during the course of the marriage or during the course of the divorce proceedings. And then when the matter has ended, when the divorce has eventually been granted, then the court will make an order for what we call permanent alimony.
And this one could also be coming from either parties.
Naturally. And it is only permanent in the sense that no further payments will be ordered after that distance. So that is the difference between temporary and permanent alimony, court-ordered payment. And you ask the question, how much and whatever, it all depends on the circumstances and the standard of living of both parties. But there's something that I need to say. It's not something that the judges just make the order. The law provides that the court will assess the means of both parties. So typically there's what we call an affidavit of means. The court will order both parties. So if, for instance, you're talking about a lecturer in the University of Ghana whose wife is called a banker, we actually dealt one true situation like that. It's very easy for both of them to bring their pay slips to show that this is what I get every month. Now, based on what I get, I pay rent of so much. My mom is living. I service my car at so much. And this is the difference that anybody looking at the facts will know. then you also bring yours. So the court will balance. And if the court balances and realizes that there's a disparity in terms of who earns what, then base, because, the court cannot order somebody to make a payment when there's no proper means of proving what a person earns. The problem we have in a country typical like Ghana is that you have a lot of people whose means of income are not proven through. You know how it goes, and and that's where the difficulty. So sometimes the judges they have to act with due respect, very arbitrarily, because typically the man appears before the court and says, "I do not work." We've got 2 children with the woman. You've got 3 children, and I'm telling you, especially at the lower levels, maybe we are not even talking of these things in terms of divorce proceedings, but I'm talking about all situations where the court requires to make an order for financial provision and stuff like that. Sometimes they just have to make orders which are quite arbitrarily, in the sense that there's no actual means of testing the distance. So the judge will look at the circumstances. School fees have to be paid whilst we are still in this thing. The children have to eat while we're still in court, and an order will be made, even the temporary one. And the danger about that order that the court makes is that if you refuse to comply with the order, that can also find you in contempt of court. And it means that whilst the divorce process are going on, there's a possibility that you can find yourself in prison. That is to say, for whatever period the judge will determine. So alimony is a very serious issue before our courts. And when the court has eventually done an assessment, the judge is obliged to make an order one way or the other. And when that order has been made, it must be respected.
Great. 2 quick questions. Now, who pays the alimony? Is it the person who is asking for the dissolution of the marriage?
Typically, I've told you that our marriage laws essentially makes the grant of divorce and etc. a fault-finding one. And typically at the end of the proceedings, the one who's at fault, a judge may take order into consideration. But whilst the matter is pending, while the matter is before the court, the request to be made by one party. And when that request has been made, the judge has to investigate and then order accordingly. So it all depends on the fact that before the court, whether you brought the petition or, because don't forget that there are different reasons that people have. There are petitions across petitions. Maybe you, the woman, with due respect, maybe you are the one who is getting out of the marriage. And then sometimes you don't have the best reason for wanting to get out of the marriage. But I will be honest and say that at the stage where the court is yet to investigate the various allegations, those matters may not weigh very much with the court. The judge has to look at the realities. Typically, the man may have even have driven the woman out of the home, and the woman then requires to have accommodation with the children. They need to pay rent and so forth and so on. Then the judge would have to make the order for the comfort of the other spouse, typically the woman and the children. So that's the way it goes.
So, simply, it's not really about who is
No.
Who has taken the marriage to court
No.
and wants a divorce.
No.
The issues will be assessed
That is so.
on their own merits.
That is so.
And then whoever is to be paying the alimony will be
ordered.
slapped or will be
Will be
ordered
ordered.
to do it. Okay. So it could be that it could be that one party is not the one asking for the divorce, but they may be the ones ending up paying.
That is so.
Ayeka.
And at that point, the judge doesn't really go into the merits of who is right, who is wrong, because those matters are yet to be investigated.
Facts.
But the judge has to look at the reality of the situation. That's what bred the nitty-gritties, because at that point, the woman possibly has withdrawn the children out of the home. The man says, I want the children home so I can look. I will say this. Sometimes children are used as baits, okay, in these divorce proceedings. The question is, the man thinks that possibly if the children are with him, he can spend less. The woman takes the children out and she's asking for so much money, and so forth and so on. But the court have dealt with these issues over and over, and the principles have clearly been established. Whoever asks has to be God at the end of the day. A judge will make an order.
Great. And the second question is, are these only in cases where there are children? Because you've talked about that several times.
Well,
The
children
issues
weigh
about
a lot.
maintenance and alimony.
Yeah,
If
right.
you're married and there are no children, under the
No, 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 no. I
circumstance.
haven't said that. I only
No, no,
use
no.
the
I'm
children
saying
to
that you've
emphasize
talked
the
about
point. You're
children a
very
lot.
right. You're very
So
right.
that's what is making me ask that must there be children involved
Not
before
necessary.
money issues
Not
can arise?
necessary.
Not necessarily.
But when there are children, the issues are heightened.
All right.
That is the way I put it.
Okay.
That is so.
So it can happen even if there are no children.
Sure.
But carries a bit more weight
Naturally.
and they're heightened
Naturally.
if there are children
Naturally.
in there. And that's how come you talked about the fact that
Maybe.
people use children as bait in
They
some
do,
of these
they
matters.
do.
Okay. Now before we talk
The
about
women do.
before we talk about custody issues, I have a question here I'd like us to look at and answer. Says, good morning. I'm listening to your program right now, but I want to know if you wedded and your husband is transferred to another region and you were able to build a 3-bedroom contained house, a chamber and a hall. I like this part. And a fence wall made with 6 inches where the woman's investment is 3/4 of the whole building. Should need be for a divorce, must the law take away this property from the woman just like that, though the woman took a loan from the bank to build these?
You know, that one, we're going into another area of ancillary reliefs, which is property settlement or property acquired in the course of the marriage. The
Okay.
principle is that equality is equity. The presumption is that every property that was acquired in the course of the marriage belongs to both parties.
Okay.
That's a presumption. That's where the law starts working from. But every presumption of law is rebuttable with the hard facts and the evidence. In other words, the fact that we are living together as a couple does not preclude, does not stop, does not restrain either of the parties from acquiring his or her property separately from the other.
Okay.
But in all cases, it's a question of fact whether a particular property was acquired and intended to be held by both parties as joint property
I
or a
see.
property of the marriage. But the principle has always been that typically, let's look at our background. In Ghana, typically, it's usual, not only in Ghana, the whole world, it's usually the woman who has to give up her job to maintain a home, for the man to go out and in and typically acquire a property in his name. And after about 30 or 15 or 20 years, when the marriage comes to an end, for the man to hit his chest and claim that this particular property
It's
is
all
his.
mine.
I mean, our courts have now taken the position that it's no longer the woman's economic contribution. It's no longer the woman's economic contribution to the acquisition of the property. The mere fact that the woman has to give up most of the time, they have to make sacrifices. Even career women have to make a lot of sacrifices, more than the men can make.
True.
And therefore, if at the end of the day that was the property that was acquired in the course of the marriage, then obviously the court will hold that it's a joint property. The kind of situation that this gentleman has given here about a woman who has to take a loan, it's recently,
It's actually from a woman.
you're right. It recently rolled up in the Supreme Court in the case where the man demonstrated that indeed the particular property that he acquired was taken with a loan that he had not even finished paying. It ran to the Supreme Court, and after the Supreme Court, they made a finding of fact, and they concluded that if on the facts of that case, on the facts and the evidence, that property could not be marital property because he took a loan. But there were other properties in issue, and therefore it was very convenient for the Supreme Court to reach that conclusion. But in the kind of situation that we're talking about, if the woman took a loan and then she built this property, and there's clear evidence that the man did not contribute.
The man contributed 1/4.
Well, if you contribute 1/4, then the thing will merge. I'm sorry. I mean, I would not find a court coming to a conclusion that
It's all the
1/4 or 3/4, and therefore it must be also distributed in that manner after the marriage. I mean, that's the way it goes. But the principle has clearly been established because, and it's the women that must sit up now because, see, now we're getting women empowerment. The women have now been empowered to their own property and whatever. When the situation was reversed, it was quite clear for women to be making all these claims. But now that the situation is that whatever is acquired in a property, like the presumption, which is that what is acquired in the course of the marriage belongs to both parties, then we're going to have situations where women who are also now very highly empowered and have husbands who are less endowed, at the end of the divorce, the court will reach the same conclusions that it doesn't really matter. But this is a caveat. In all the cases, the evidence must be there to show whether the parties intended to hold it equally. So, for instance, if the two of us, because only yesterday someone asked me a question around this area, it was talking to me about a situation where the parties, there's a document, or rather they acquired a property in the joint names. So that was very clear. But then other properties have come in, and it's not in the joint name. The presumption is that they intended to hold that property as co-owners, but all the other property that have been acquired in the individual names will belong
To the
to
individuals.
the individuals, and that is very clear.
Great.
You're right.
All right. Oh, good. You know how we started this conversation 3 weeks ago, and we said that marriage, yes, true, is a covenant. It's based on affection, it's based on love, it's based on trust. But you should also know that some way, somehow, there is some risk element in there. And so it's important that whilst you're doing there, I love you, I care about you, you're my one and only, I will be with you forever, I will take a bullet for you and all that. It's important that you arm yourself with some amount of knowledge when it comes to the issues of the law and how it impacts your marriage. And that's what we have been doing for the past 3 weeks. Good morning, Adam. I am told after marriage and the two partners do not have sex after 6 months, it is grounds for dissolution. How true is this? This is from Richard in Ashi.
It is true, it's also not true. If the parties marry, there's something the law calls consummation, which is the first act of the parties coming together to have sex.
But why is the law interested in sex?
Oh, but the whole marriage.
It's an emotional thing. Leave the people to do their thing.
Oh, please, oh, please.
It's
It's a ground for dissolution of marriage if the one party can prove that the other has willfully withheld sex. Then, with that knowledge, listen, it's more serious than the way we're looking at. The law is that on that basis alone, the marriage could be dissolved because it has not been consummated. It's not whether 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. But don't forget that there are caveats that I entered the very first day that we met, which was the fact that, first and foremost, a marriage cannot be dissolved within the first 2 years of marriage. Meaning that if your wife refuses to give you sex, and please, not only wives, some men also refuse to give their wife sex, and there have been various reasons that people have given for this kind of behavior. For some people marry and they realize that the man is impotent in the sense that he can't even have an erection. Some marry and they realize that the person does not have the sex organ.
Hey!
Now it happens. It's there. It's in the law books. And so forth and so on.
And they didn't tell you.
They didn't, because they were good Christians like me,
so,
you know.
So why must I stay for 2 years?
No, that's what the law. But that's why I'm saying that you can always make an application to the court for the court to grant you leave.
Please make an application.
You're right. So that's the way it goes. So it's not about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So if your wife for 6 months refuses to sex, you can go to the court, and I'm sure the judge, whether male or female, will appreciate that kind of conduct. That kind of conduct is something that a reasonable person ought not to live with. So it is unreasonable behavior.
Great, and it is not like the two of you have decided that we are married, but we won't have sex.
That's a different ballgame.
Yeah,
that's a different ballgame.
That's so not fair.
You're right.
Now, do you know about the new delicious? I am talking about Ungalicious. Yes, Ungalicious is the new delicious. Create those amazing moments with your favorite Onga seasoning, no matter your cooking experience. Onga is a delight to make great tasting meals in every home. Onga is convenient to use, and it brings out that great taste and aroma in your meals. Let's toast to the new Onga chicken tablet with superior taste and comforting aroma for all your chicken meals. Mama's Helping Hand, Onga, proudly Ghanaian. You can connect with the team at Onga on Facebook and Twitter and also Instagram at Onga Ghana. And just like moms know what to do in every situation, you can trust any of the Fortune rice brands for all your rice meals for every single occasion. It needs just a little water. Remember, a little water. The grains don't stick together, and the aroma and taste, delicious. So if you're thinking of cooking jollof, fried rice, rice balls, or any rice dish, choose Fortune. We have it in the classic, which is the green pack. The orange is that's the Fortune Delight, and then the red pack is the Fortune Delicious. Get yours now, and you won't regret it. We have it, Fortune Rice. Always on point, just like mom. And your eyes deserve the best care and quality designer eyeglasses. And Amasha Partners Limited have it all. At Amasha, in addition to general treatments, you can test your sight, purchase designer frames, lenses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and you can even consult an ophthalmologist. You can locate Amasha at the following places: La Opposite Trade Fair, Spenters adjacent ICGC before Community 18 Junction, Tema Community 1 in the Meridian Plaza, McCarthy Hill, they are opposite Benjay Lodge. When you come to North Kaneshi, Swan Lake, they are opposite Green Hand Junction. Achimota, you can find them first floor Dainsua Plaza, Axim on the Takrade on the Axim Road, Ho opposite the Housing Junction, Kumasi Roundabout, and Koforigia Central Hospital Road. For all your eye care and challenges, contact Amasha Partners Limited on these numbers: 0302939850. Another one is 0303962226, and also on 0235331662. Also follow them at Amasha Eye Care on Instagram and Facebook. And I was telling you about better molds. Now I know you're settled in, so let me tell you what you have to do. Here's what you have to do. What is the time now? I'm sure it's around 7. Is it 7 yet? Okay. It's around 6:56. So we're looking at about 7:10, 7:15 thereabout. You have to start composing a very short song in your head. Start composing and make sure that you have, just like mommy, like me in there. And then when you call in, you will have to sing the song very nicely. My judges will be my team in the background producing. Mauli is there, Daniela is there, Fairboy is there, Clement is around. They will listen to your voice, they will listen to how good your song is, and then Lawyer Pencil will be here. He'll be the final judge, and then we will decide which two people sang beautifully, and then we bring you loads of packs of Better Malt. How about that? Great. So start writing your song. Can't just be 4 lines, 5 lines per. Not too much work. So while you are there, if you're in bed with your husband, all the better. Draw closer, cuddle together, and start putting the words together. Otherwise, call the children, sit down with them, and start putting the words together quickly. If you call, you can actually decide to even sing with the children. We are fine. But this is for moms, so we'd like the mothers to sing the song. So start getting ready for that. But while you do that, remember, and we're starting this by clapping for all mothers. Not all heroes wear capes, so because to be a mother, you have to keep getting better at everything. Dressing up, cooking, working, you name it. And I can relate because the children are watching and they are learning as well. That is why you must always make better choices. When packing lunch for the family or for the kids, make sure there's a Better Malt to go with it. You need a break from work, refresh yourself with Better Malt. And I like this part that when you need a drink to top up that delicious meal, remember, it is always Better Malt. Better Malt because like mommy, like moi. We will be taking a break very shortly, but let me ask Lawyer Pencil this question, and then when we come back, you'll answer the question. So this one is from Ajwa in Accra. She says that we have been separated for over 2 years. No sex after the separation, but we have 2 children. The man has refused to send money for our upkeep. I had to put the first in school myself. What remedies do I have? So we will look at that when we come back. And then also we will talk about custody. We're taking a short break now. We will be with you very soon.
Just like moms know what to do in every situation, you can trust Fortune Rice for all your rice meals. It needs just a little water. The grains don't stick, and the aroma and taste are delicious.
Fortune Rice is all we need, just like mom.
Fortune Rice, always on point, just like mom. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
My Daisy copies everything I do.
I do everything my mommy does.
She copies the way I dress up.
I dress like her.
She copies the way I work.
I do my homework like her.
She even copies the way I talk. Hey, Daisy! That's why I know that to give her a better life, I must do better myself. So when I'm drinking my better malt, she always makes sure she has hers in hand as well. Mummy's happy and Daisy's happy too. Better malt. Be better every day. This advert is FDA approved.
Vitamin B9. So me I say brown milk. Now the source of vitamin B9, which helps brain development.
Cowbell milk, fortified with vitamins, is now a source of vitamin B9, helping brain development and giving your loved ones the help they need.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Adriani Dede, Onga chicken tablet. Adriani Dede, Onga chicken tablet. Why you me do? Why you me do? Why me do? Onga chicken tablet. Get this to me. Get this to me. Onga chicken tablet. Coconut who give me. Adriani yes weni. Onga dielele. Onga chicken tablet.
Introducing the new Onga chicken tablet.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
It's cashback season once again at Compu Ghana. Rush to any Compu Ghana store nationwide for unbeatable offers. Promotions begin now for all your favorite brands like LG, Samsung, Tecno, Infinix, HP, and so much more. Shop at any Compu Ghana branch nationwide or online at www.compugana.com. Download our app today for exclusive offers available on Android Play Store or App Store. Contact us on 030-7070-701 or WhatsApp us on 0243-143-143. Compu Ghana, passion for technology.
My Daisy copies everything I do.
I do everything my mommy does.
She copies the way I dress up.
I dress like her.
She copies the way I work.
I do my homework like her.
She even copies the way I talk. Hey, Daisy! That's why I know that to give her a better life, I must do better myself. So when I'm drinking my better malt, she always makes sure she has hers in hand as well. Mummy's happy and Daisy's happy too. Better malt. Be better every day. This advert is FDA approved.
Ophelia, did you brush your teeth before eating?
No, Mommy. Anytime I use Daddy's toothpaste, I get bruises in my mouth and sometimes I feel like vomiting.
That's not an excuse. As a child, you need to brush your teeth before you take your breakfast to avoid tartar and cavity, okay?
And you, why are you laughing at your sister? Have you brushed your teeth?
Yes, Mom. I used the Kel Kids toothpaste you brought yesterday to brush my teeth.
Well done, darling. Kel Kids toothpaste is made for kids like you from 2 years to 6 years.
It was so sweet like strawberry. I even wanted to eat it, Mom.
No, you can't eat it. It's toothpaste, not toffee, okay? It's always advisable to give your kids Kel Kids toothpaste to brush their teeth. Kel Kids toothpaste strengthens teeth and prevents decay and cavities. As a mother, I always make sure my kids use Kel Kids toothpaste. Kel Kids toothpaste with strawberry flavor makes brushing exciting for our kids.
Kel, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Start your day with tasty and creamy Hollandia Evap milk, fortified with vitamin B12 and calcium in a resealable pack. Hollandia Evap milk, making your mornings better. Anopa ayede. This advert is FDA approved.
And thank you very much for staying tuned and for watching us. This is Home Affairs. If you're just joining us, well, you missed a little bit, but do not worry. You can catch us on podcast. You go on my Joy Online, search for podcast, and then you search for Home Affairs, and you will find it there. We also streamed on Facebook. So after, you can just catch us Joy997 on Facebook, and then you will watch it. We have been having some very important conversations over the past 3 weeks. We've been talking about your marriage and the law, how the law impacts there. I love you. I will die for you. I will be here with you always. You are not going anywhere and all that. But there is a legal side to it, and that's what we've been doing, so that you and I are both informed about the decisions and the choices we are making when it comes to marriage. Now, I said to lawyer that when I come back, we will ask about the custody issues, but I asked the question earlier about this lady who says that they have been separated for 2 years, and within the 2 years they haven't had sex. They have 2 children. The man has refused to help cater to the children, and she has even had to go and put one of the children in school herself, so all the burden is on her. She is asking what remedies are there for her.
Good. I think I find as a fact that in Ghana, I can talk about Ghana, a lot of men think that they do the woman a favor by looking after their children when there is a problem between the two of them. It's very unfortunate. Error. It's just a misconception and misperception. It is such, I don't know where that comes from, but the woman should take it from me today that you need not even have a divorce in order to get the kind of reliefs that children are entitled to. And your first course of this is to go. Even all the district courts listed over the country, they all have got what we call a family tribunal, where the man can be sued to provide maintenance. It's got nothing to do with whether he wants to marry the woman, whether he loves the woman, and so forth and so on. It is enough that the children are the children of the marriage, and the man is refusing to maintain them. You can go for an order, including providing accommodation and all of that. A lot of these men, I think they are committing blue murder, and they don't even know that what they are doing. And it's because in our society, a lot of people think that family is good. They
get away with it.
I'm a good Christian myself, but every Christian woman who has come to me about this problem and talk to the man appears adamant. I just show you to go to the district court. When you go there, the proper remedies will be made. Of course, if it's the context of a divorce, we all know what it is. And so, therefore, the clear point of the matter is that every man who refuses to look after the child ought to be taken to the district court.
Let me ask you a very interesting question, because from the beginning of the conversation, from 3 weeks ago, we have been talking about the fact that the law is no respecter of persons.
Sure.
If it has to deal with you, the woman, it does. If It has to deal with you, the man. It does as well. So let's look at a scenario where, sorry, it is the woman who earns more.
Sure.
And we know that the man is really not in a position to cater to the children, pay their fees and all that. And sorry, this woman is the one who probably has walked away on the marriage, especially so when she was really helping with everything. Now, can the law compel the woman, like we are saying, to take care, the man to take care of the children? Can the law compel the woman to also pay the children's school fees and take care of the children?
The answer is yes. And the reason why the answer is yes is that when it comes to maintenance, looking after children and all that, the principle starts on the basis that both parties are equally responsible.
All right.
So if the woman is even a millionaire, and you're not working, the court will arrive at a conclusion where you'll be required to provide 50% of the children's needs.
All right.
That is in the cases where we haven't had a marriage. I mean, we're not looking for divorce and whatever, because you need not have a divorce in order to get the court to make the kind of orders that we are making.
Right.
And it's not going to matter the fact that you are not working, you are unemployed and whatever, because in Ghana, everybody is unemployed. Everybody in the informal sector is unemployed. And that's because the court has no basis for determining what these people earn. So if you go and tell the judge that you know, and what I found very interesting, social reality, is that most of the district courts are manned by women. You know what I'm saying? So they are not sympathetic to this emotional, these are emotional blackmails that people go, I'm not working. Okay, if you're not working, the order will be made. And if you fail to comply, you will see the inside of the cells. That's the way it goes. And I like it myself.
Great.
Sure. That's the custody part. As for the rest about not having sex and whatever, if you want to go to court, you know what to tell the judge. But that cannot form a basis. And I even need to say with regard to the earlier bit about not having sex, even upon consummation, it only makes the marriage, we call it voidable, in the sense that if you elect to live and put up with it, fair enough. You need not have a divorce merely because you have not consummated a marriage. Even after you're consummated and then you are not having sex, sex is not food that you need to eat in order to live. But if you can put up with it, fair enough. That's the way it goes.
All right.
Yes.
I don't want us to go into that one.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's talk about the custody issues.
Sure.
Who takes custody of the children?
Custody could go to either parents, depending on the station of life of the children. The fact that the wife is not working, the fact that the woman does not have, and the fact that it doesn't really matter. But let me put it this way. The principles, indeed, all over the world, typically is that where the children are young, in other words, of tender age, invariably, inflexible, possibly any time, any age below 10 years, maybe in their before teen, if I may put it that way, before they become teenagers, the court will almost always grant custody to the woman. Almost always. Indeed, you have to demonstrate that a woman is so of such immoral and stuff like that before the court will reverse that kind of situation. And the fact that, for instance, the woman is not working, the fact that the woman is all over, she's poor, the court will order you to provide the means to her. That's the way it goes. So, when it comes to custody, men are always losing the battle. But the truth of it is, every order for custody goes with some related reliefs like access to the children, so that the court will make an order for the woman to keep the children with we call it reasonable access. What is reasonable would depend on the facts or the circumstances. The court possibly may order that while the children on vacation, maybe they can come and visit. While the children with the mother, maybe every week or every 2 weeks, you'll be allowed to go there, maybe the number of hours. Our judges are always having to do this, and it's based on the typical facts of each situation. And of course, these orders will be made, and as the way it is, they can even be varied in the course of time, and so forth and so on. But the court can also, on the facts, restrain either party clearly from having anything to do with the children. We recently had to deal with a case, because I'm not mentioning names and whatever, where the parties are not living together, and the woman, somebody sent to her a video. We have the video where the man had an erect penis and was allowing his son to play with it.
Oh, jeez.
Was playing with the man's manhood.
How old is this child?
3, 4 years.
Oh, Jesus.
And the boy was very excited. And you can't believe the kind of things that some of these people are doing out there. And he had the guts to apply for custody. He was seeking custody. And on the basis of what the court said, no, so we cannot. No, we can't have you. Before even the child grows, you have poisoned the child for life. So these are the kind of things. So let me put it this way. There are things that our judges see that make them do. Some of these things have to be heard in camera. In other words, the public will not be allowed access to some of these things. So sometimes when you see some of these orders, on the face of it, it may appear to be harsh and whatever, but the judge has seen something that has influenced his or her situation and decision in those circumstances.
Great.
Yes.
Great. And in the case where you have children who are a bit grown, like teenagers, and because we have heard, I don't know how lawful those are, but you have heard cases of teenagers who parents are in a tussle. I want the custody of the children. I want custody of the children. The kids able? Can the kids' consent be sought at any point in time at the law court?
Sure. So a court may involve the children, hear them. You know, there's something very funny I found in my own practice, that every time parties are going through a divorce and they are fighting over the children, the impression each of them gives is as if the other one is allowed, you poison the children the next day. It's unimaginable how parents would and that's the battlegrounds upon which these things are fought. I mean, it's like the other one would shoot them if he is given access and stuff like that. And there have been many states, especially when you're dealing with teenagers who also have a fair idea of what is going on between the parents. Court would hold sessions with these children. We've got, because at the family tribunal, it's not only the judge, it's assisted by 2 other people, social welfare people. So they will do an assessment. You know, these people, they've got their own basis for making psychological and whatever analysis or whatever. So they will involve the children, hear their views, but don't forget that as children, they always like sugar candies. You know what I'm saying? They always like the parent who is the whatever, patronizing part. So sometimes the courts, let's put it this way, at the end of the day, based on the report and assessment that they will have, the court will have to take a decision. For our judges really don't have it very easy. But every point they don't have very easy at all. But they have to make the best of decisions that they can make on the basis of the facts and the evidence that comes before them.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
This is what marriage and law school master class 101. Thank you very much, Lawyer Pencil. It's been very educative over the past series, but we're not done yet. 0302216541. You know that you're supposed to call in and you make contributions, and if you want to sing and get loads of packs of Better Malt, please, two mothers, you call us, then we will be fine with that. So phone lines are opened. You just give us a call. You sing a very beautiful song with Better Malt, like Mommy, like Mommy Like Me, and then we will be moving on. So because like Mommy Like Me, just sing a song, a very nice song, not too long. Make sure your voice is nice. It's early in the morning too. Okay, now while I wait for your phone calls to come in, everyone can use Koba. It's got, okay, hello Seth, good morning. Hello Seth, good morning, are you there? I can hardly hear Seth. Seth, they'll come fix the line for us. But while I wait for that, everyone can use Koba. It's got a payment channel for the big bosses, the market woman, the mechanic, the cocoa seller, and the small shop owner. So sit back, relax, and simply pay for your old students association dues and contributions. Transfer funds across all bank accounts or mobile money wallets. Top up airtime, pay your and data. Pay your insurance, your TV subscription, your utility bills, pay school fees, and pay for that washing. Do all these and more on Koba and get a free life insurance cover with Prudential Life while you transact your business on Koba. Korba, Korba. Use it and enjoy life's little pleasures. You can download the Korba app on Play Store or on App Store or access via the WhatsApp channel 0242426186 or just dial *365# and follow the prompts. Korba, our lives simplified. Hello, Seth. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
By great and yourself.
Great. We are doing well.
Sorry, you said two mothers should call.
Don't worry. If you want to sing for us.
Yes. The first thing I would like, for the past 3 months, 3 weeks, I was out of town. So where I was, there was no coverage for me to listen to your program. So I don't know how I can get access to the previous programs.
You can get it on podcast. You go to My Joy Online.
Okay.
My Joy Online, and then you search for podcasts, search for Home Affairs, and then you are there. You just select the dates, and then you're there. Otherwise, you can also go on Facebook and then look at the dates 2 weeks ago, last week, and today, and you get everything on Facebook as well.
That's great. Now, to my substantial point.
But hold on, no. Are you going to give the are you married?
I am married. I am married. My wife is in Cape Coast. I'm in Accra. And my children are with me in Accra.
So your wife is there with you?
Role.
Your wife is there with you?
My wife is in Cape Coast.
She's in Cape Coast. Okay, go ahead.
I'm in Accra with my children.
The two has become one. So go ahead and sing for
So, yes. Better more, my favorite dream. It nourishes my children too.
Can you people come and increase the volume for us, please?
My family, a better mod is always there for our happiness. Thank you.
Please, sing it one more time. I enjoyed it. Oh, Seth, are you there?
I'm here.
Please sing it one more time.
Oh.
You can't sing.
You can't sing it. But thank you very much for calling. That was creative. Thank you very much. So please keep listening. We'll announce the winners before the show ends. That's very interesting. Now, there's a question here that says, "Good morning, Adam." But the phone lines are still open, 0302-216541. And our WhatsApp is 055111199.7. Good morning, Adam and lawyer. Please, I am not married, but I have a child with a guy who is not being responsible. Can he take me to court? A guy who is not being responsible for, can he take me to court to take custody of the child? Also, can I prevent him from seeing the child if eventually he decides to take up his role? Can he be charged for all the years he neglected his duties? This is from Nanama in Medina.
Yes, he can be charged, as you put it, for the neglect of his duties. In other words, he could owe you arrears for the maintenance of the child if it can be demonstrated that over the period he has failed, neglected, or refused to take up those responsibilities. Yes, he can take you to court to apply for custody, but whether the custody will be granted to him in the circumstances that you described is very slim, because he has already demonstrated as irresponsible. He must show such good reason for wanting to have the child.
Great.
Thirdly, whether indeed and in fact he can have visitation rights can only be determined by the court of law. Visitation rights the court may grant to him, but he may, a lot of men, you know what they do? They come for the child, they go to give to their aunt, they go to give to their mom, they go to give to their sister, which is very insulting. Because for a man to be able to take the child from you, he must demonstrate that you are incapable of looking after the child yourself. And a lot of people, because maybe they are well-to-do and stuff, they think that on that basis alone. So please, the man may not be able to take the custody of the child based on the peculiar facts that you have given to us. And like I said, indeed, if we really, really have to wrest the custody from you, there must be very good reasons that you have not told us. But on the basis of what you've said, I cannot see the man being given custody.
Great, as simple as that. Wait, who do we have on the line, please? Grace, hello?
Yes, good morning, Adam.
I am fine, Grace. How are you?
I'm fine, and you too?
I'm good. Are you going to sing better than
No, I don't have
said?
voice to sing this morning.
What did you say?
Yes, please. I want to ask the lawyer.
Okay.
I've been married for 18 years. My husband has been away for 15 years. We have 2 children, boy and a girl. Last time he came back, I want a divorce because he has not taken care of us. Sometimes he will pay the school fees. Sometimes he will bring a little money for rent. And I went to the court for a divorce. Hello?
Grace, we're listening to you.
After procedure and everything, they asked me, when the man came, he said he's living in Kaswa. So after they did everything, they asked me to take the papers to Kaswa court. And I was told, somebody told me he's not in Kaswa. He's staying with a friend, but I don't know where he's staying. So I can't take the papers to Kaswa. So I want to ask the lawyer, what can I do about it?
All right.
Now, we've got what we call forum non-convenience, or a convenient forum where matters ought to be litigated, if we put it there. There are rules regarding where to bring an action and so forth and so on. So I'm sure you are involved in a procedural tussle as to where is the proper forum that you must bring the action. That's got nothing to do with the merits of your case. So you have to establish where the man is and bring the forum there. But if you have sued him in any court in Accra, I'm not sure the judge just throws out the matter because the man asks that he should take them to where he is. What he filed does not determine. It's got to get a judge to make an order whether indeed the case ought to be taken from one particular court to the other. And if you don't know where he is, as you have said, that then I wouldn't know where you got the information. Whoever brought this thing, that the matter must be taken to a particular forum. So this matter can't really be discussed online the way you've posed it. You may require to contact a lawyer who may assist you with the procedural part of your case.
Okay, great. I have a very long one here, but I will come to that shortly. But one more time, just like moms know what to do in every situation, you can trust any of the Fortune rice brands for all your rice meals for every occasion. It needs just a little water. Remember, just a little water, because the grains don't stick together and the aroma and taste, just delicious. So if you're thinking of cooking jollof, fried rice, rice balls, and any other rice dish, you can think about, you just have to choose Fortune. We have it in the classic, which is the green, the delight is orange, and the Fortune Delicious comes in the red pack. Get yours now and you won't regret it. We have it. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom. And do you know again about the new Delicious? Oh yes, Ongalicious is the new Delicious. Create those amazing moments with your favorite Onga seasoning. No matter your cooking experience, Onga is a delight to make great tasting meals in every home. Onga is convenient to use and brings out that great taste and aroma in all your meals. Let's toast to the new Onga chicken tablet with superior taste and comfort and aroma for all your chicken meals. Mama's Helping Hand, Onga, proudly Ghanaian. You can connect with the team at Onga on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Onga Ghana. Do we have another caller on the line? Not yet. Okay, now let me read this one. I think you answered a similar question. It says, good morning to you and your panel. The issue of divorce is really something else. I have been married to a medical doctor for 20 years with 3 kids from the marriage. And during the marriage, she has gone to engage another lady and also has 2 children with her after marrying me in the court, and they're living together as a family. He has left our home, leaving me and the children for the past 5 years, and we don't live like married couples. And when I questioned his behavior, he started beating me and disrespecting me. There were times he locked me outside our home and slept outside. During the marriage, the children only see him on Fridays to Saturday because he works in Kumasi. There has not been any intimacy between us for the past 4 years. And when I decided to go to court, he apparently has put all the properties under his brothers and sisters' names. He wants custody of our children. And my question is it possible for him to have custody of the children because he's now living with another woman as a family? It's very
I'll put it this way. The issue of custody, maybe I've not explained.
We actually have just 1 minute.
Is based on the best best needs of the children. In other words, the welfare of the children. That's what the judge wants to look at. So in every situation, the judge will look at what is the best way of protecting these children. And if the judge finds that they will do better with a man, he will give it to him. They will do better with a wife, he will give it to her. Regarding your husband having married, you're going to marry another woman, he's committed the offense of bigamy. That's a criminal offense. And you can go to court if you wish to have that second marriage annulled on the basis that of the existing marriage. As to the issues of his ungovernable temper, these are all matters that a court can take into consideration when the issues of divorce arise. But you need to also have the divorce before you can have these matters redressed, because such as also borders on criminality, and some of these things ought to also be reported to the police and so forth and so on. So in a nutshell, you have a man. As for the question of hiding the property in siblings' names, it won't help him if you've got the evidence that these properties were originally held by him. It won't help him at all.
And the last time Lawyer Pencil said, and if you have a smart lawyer, he
knows what to do.
Yes, you should be fine. So in this case, I think that you may have to also speak to a lawyer. But thank you all very much for listening. I hope that the past 3 weeks has been very educative. I have learnt a lot, and I do hope, like I said, that you have also picked up a lot. Go on and enjoy the weekend, and remember that if it doesn't challenge you, it usually won't change you. Lawyer Pencil, God bless you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. 3 weeks back to back. We so appreciate it.
But what happened to the promotion?
We had only one caller, so obviously Seth is the winner.
He has one hand now. He has one hand now.
Seth, you are the winner. So congratulations to you. All right, we're done. And thank you to my backroom staff, Daniela, Fairboy, Mauli, Clements, every one of you. And our sound guy, every one of you has been good. Thank you very much. We love you. And Seth is, okay, yeah. Okay, Seth, you are the winner. Yeah? Congratulations. All right. Bye. Seth, actually send us a message. Okay, send us a message on WhatsApp so that we can get your number and then get you to pick your loads of better malt package.
Believe it.
Bye-bye.
My man, I heard there's a new app on the streets that does it all for you.
Really? How is that possible?
Charlie, I also could not believe it too. But I downloaded the app and I'm telling you, I was able to chat with my friends, make video calls and...
Well, we know of many apps that can do that.
Oh, let me finish la. I was also able to listen to the latest songs, play games and read the latest sports news.
For real?
Yeah, and I can send and receive money from the app. Amazing, no?
What's the name of this app?
It's called Ayoba.
Ayoba?
Yeah, Ayoba.
Get Ayoba, your all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, share, play, pay, and listen to music all in one app for everyone. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN and download the Ayoba app today. Everywhere you go.
The fitter you are, the fresher you feel. Stay hydrated with the refreshing goodness of Voltic Natural Mineral Water, sourced from the heart of Ghana for true and safe refreshment.
Voltic, naturally, a product of the Coca-Cola Company. This advert is FDA approved.